Welcome to Promote, Profit, Publish. We have another great guest today and something on a topic you guys have been asking for a lot. So I want to remind you before we get into the show to go over to the Promote, Profit, Publish quiz. You can find it at www.promoteprofitpublishquiz.com and find out how your skill set is setting up to what success looks like in the author, speaker, platform building world. It's a great place to, evaluate and find out, compared to success, where you're at and where you need to improve. So today's guest, I'm really excited because I used to work for this guy, and actually I coached with him a very, very long time ago when I was in real estate. He was like the head coach over everything. His name is Rich German, and he is a best-selling author, a speaker, business, and lifestyle coach. And we're really going to get into the lifestyle coach piece with him today, as well as joint ventures. Since 1999, he's conducted over 18,000 individual coaching sessions, and he's the creator and CEO of the JV Insider Circle, a powerful community that supports coaches and experts in building their business via joint venture partnerships. He's also the creator of an amazing book called Blue Laguna, and it's a photo book of, yay, look, he pumped it, a photo book of dolphin and whale images taken from his stand-up paddleboard. You guys, seriously, you got to see this book. He goes out in the middle of the ocean with a GoPro on his head, like in pods of orcas and blue whales, and it looks like it's pretty scary stuff. So he's also the founder of Projecto, a nonprofit whose goal is to protect the ocean and the sacred life living in it. Rich lives in Laguna Beach, California, and when he's not working, which is he rarely works, he can be found in the ocean on his ocean paddleboard with the dolphins and the whales. So welcome, Rich.
I like that intro. Julia, I don't even remember that I used to coach you in real estate. Until you just said that, I have zero recollection of that. I think I've tuned that part of my life completely out. I don't remember that at all.
So I have a very funny story. So first of all, I coached with Mike Ferry, and I believe you ran the calls. And I had my day job, so I was going in at 2 a.m. I was done by 10. And I would go home and I would take a nap and I'd get out there and start prospecting. And
my God.
So we're on a group call and I fall asleep. I'm snoring and you called me afterwards and kind of gently scolded me about why don't I know how to mute myself?
Oh my God.
So later on in life, when I met you, I kind of slinked around for a really long time. Like, oh my God, what if he remembers that I'm that snoring flake?
I've had people, I used to lead meditation calls like a decade ago, and I had people would fall asleep during those, but never on a training call.
Oh yeah.
First of all, having a 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. job, that's not a day job. That's the middle of the night. It's a graveyard shift.
Well,
job.
But I changed when I got into real estate. I changed my schedule so that I had the day to go out and prospect. So, and then I think when you were over at Tom Ferry, I actually got incredible results with Tom Ferry. I was the #1 listing agent out of 400 in my office, but that's actually what made me call you for the joint venture inner circle, because I already knew you, sort of. I think I liked you. I was still a little resentful that you scolded me for snoring.
Well, you thought you liked me. If you would have stayed awake during my calls, then maybe you would have known if you liked me or not, for sure.
There you go. But that's what drew me to you.
This is great. I love this. I had no idea. That's so funny.
Yeah, I never really shared that story before because it's a little embarrassing that, I snore.
Yeah, you don't want to share that one publicly.
Yeah.
No way.
So I am a single girl. So beware, guys. If you date me, I snore. No.
So
there you go.
Narcolepsy? Narcolepsy, I think, is the word.
Yeah, that's it. So, the joint venture inner circle. I got involved a long time ago. And one thing I noticed over and over and over when I was actually a coach for you guys was that people came to the event. They saw the shiny objects, the big names you have, on stage for Shark Tank, the Lisa Sasoviches of the world. And they thought, I'm going to come in and I'm going to get those people to promote me with absolutely no idea what it takes. Can you talk a little bit about what it really takes and what this is all about?
Yeah. So first of all, hello, and thank you for having me. It's funny, I rarely turn down interviews because I think they're always fun, and especially because it was you, and I forgot about this past life that we had together, but you've been not only a member of JV Insider Circle, you know, a client of ours, but I've been a client of yours. We'll hopefully talk more about the book in our time today, but it's always fun to talk with and work with people that I've known for years and have this kind of conversation that we normally don't get to have. So I'm excited to be here. And yeah, what was the question? Why people reach out to the top dogs and think all of a sudden they're going to promote them, something like that?
Yeah, I think, people come into the joint venture inner circle with the idea that, you know, I'm going to connect with all these people on a big level, and they'll just say, oh yes, I love you. I love what you have. And that's not really the way it works.
No, well, they do that probably because they don't listen to my training. Maybe they fell asleep during it. I'm not going to let that one go so quick.
I know you're not.
So in the way we train people to do joint ventures, and if we need to explain more what a joint venture is, we can go there.
Well,
But
why don't you start with that?
Well, I was assuming from your question, your audience already knew. But let me back up a little just so everybody's on the same playing level. In my mind, joint ventures are a superior mechanism to growing your business. If you're listening and watching us right now, most likely you are some type of an expert, right? Some type of maybe a coach, an author. Obviously, you work with authors. That's the last big work Juliet and I did together was creating my photo book. You're a speaker. You're someone with a message, a mission, and you want to get it out into the world in a big way. And in my mind, joint venturing is the best way to do that, especially if you don't have like an unlimited marketing budget, because they really don't cost anything to do. The idea is that you're going to connect with other people in your niche, most likely, who have an audience of people that you want to be talking to. And the idea is that you're going to convince them, and this kind of leads into your first question, you're going to hopefully convince them that they should promote you to their audience. And it's funny because when I get asked, like, what's the biggest mistake that people make when they do joint ventures, that's it right there. It's approaching someone that's at a much bigger level than you are and asking them to promote you, without offering them anything out of the gate, number one. And number two, you're probably not ready to have someone like a Lisa Sasevich or a Christian Michelson even promote you. You're just not ready for that. So it's a powerful thing, let's be clear. If you can get a big player like that who has a huge reach to promote you, that's definitely going to drive a lot of eyeballs to whatever you're promoting, but you got to be ready for that. So the way we train people, as you know, Julia, is to start small. We recommend that people, especially within our JV community, JV Insider Circle, to, at the beginning, partner with people within the community that are at the same level as you. Kind of get your feet wet, kind of dip your toes in the shallow end of the pool, if you will, before you dive in with the sharks, and just get experience with promoting other people, get experience with people promoting you, start adding some people to your email list from that, get confident in doing a promotion. Lately what I've been recommending to people is, instead of doing big, fancy, intimidating launches with all kinds of pre-launch videos and all this different content, which most people are not ready for, just to create a simple webinar. Find a JV partner, have them promote you doing either a live or pre-recorded webinar. Live, I actually prefer. And you have the experience of getting on a webinar, kind of like we're doing now, and talking to a live audience, presenting your material, and then at the end making an offer for people to buy whatever it is that you're selling. Like, there's a skill to that. So for most people, right out of the gate, even if you mentioned Lisa, even if Lisa Sasevich said, oh my God, you have something that's amazing that my audience needs, I want to promote you. In the rare case that would happen, in most cases I'd be like, no, let's build up to the point where you're ready for that. Because when you do get a yes from someone at that high level, which is the ultimate goal, you want to make sure you're ready, that you have something that's going to sell so that you make money, you get clients, your partner's happy because they're getting commissions from it. And then you can truly create a win-win. And that's the ultimate goal of a joint venture, is that it's a win for everyone involved. It's a win for your partner. It's a win for your email list, for your potential customers, and of course for you and your business. That's the goal of a JV. It's a win for everybody involved.
It is. I love that you're recommending the live webinars, because it's so important when you're first starting out to get feedback from those people, like what was good, what didn't work for them. And to be honest, guys, if you've ever put a funnel together, it never works the first time. It's a disaster. So you gotta practice and find those disconnects and get them out. So what exactly, I mean, I know when I was in JVIC, you guys taught so much about relationships. I loved those little circles at the event where we got to share and refine our messages.
Yeah. I mean, I've been saying this for years, that whatever business you think you are in, whatever niche you put out to the world that you are in, the real business you are in is the business of relationships, especially using the joint venture model. If you can't build relationships with people, you're not going to succeed at this model. It really boils down to, you know me, Juliet, I like to keep things really simple. Mm-hmm. There's definitely steps involved in getting ready to do joint ventures and whatnot, but I can really boil it down to two things. One is you having a great program or a product or a service that gets a specific result for your end user, for your client. So if you can come up with a product or a program that gets a specific result that people need, number one, and then number two, you can cultivate a community of joint venture partners who will promote whatever it is that you want to promote. You're going to win this game. In fact, Julia, you and I could probably list out people that we know that are highly successful as a coach or an author, speaker, any kind of expert or leader. And I would guarantee every single time that we could say, yep, they've got a great program and they've got people to promote it. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much all you need right there.
It is. And I actually, someone that was in your program that just made incredible strides in 1 year. I remember being at the first event that Jennifer Deep Stratton was at and being at her table, and she wasn't sure. And look at her today. Even like that year was the most incredible growth year for her. Yep. So I hope we can name drop there. So I just did.
You can name drop all you like.
So as part of this, you have been able to build like that lifestyle that people dream about, and build a staff around it, build your joint venture income, like kind of that residual income. And you've turned that into a lifestyle that you're really passionate about. Can you talk about that in 3 hours or less?
I can talk about that in 3 minutes or less.
I'm just kidding you.
Yeah, we're on for 3 hours today, right?
I hope not. No. I like you, but 3 hours. No.
We're going to go until Juliet falls asleep, which I guarantee will be way less than 3 hours based on past performance. So the way, I'll use my dreamy, slow, fall asleep voice. No, so it's funny that this conversation started by talking about your real estate background, because before I started my own company, I was working for another coaching company, and I won't mention the name of it, Tom Ferry, but I was working for Tom, and long story that I won't get into, and hopefully he'll never hear this interview. I love you, Tom, but I had to get out of the environment that I was working in with Tom. It definitely was not an environment that matched the lifestyle that I wanted on many different levels. And so,
can I say it was soul sucking?
You can. I'm glad you said it, not me. So I left, and this was many years ago, and Tom and I have kissed and made up since then. But I left Tom, and I started my own company. Now, this is the truth. The first day of my own company, the first thing that I did, normally people sit down and they create like a business plan and business goals. I did that on day 2. On day 1, I said, this is the lifestyle that I want. These are the days that I want to work. These are the hours that I want to work. I'm going to create a business based around my lifestyle first. Because for me, my health is more important than my business. My lifestyle, and for me, and everyone's going to be different, but for me, my lifestyle is basically living on the beach in board shorts and barefoot all day long, working from home, working a set amount of hours, the shorter the better, making the biggest impact that I can make in that time, empowering other people around me so that I can build a large company without having to be a workaholic and work 40, 50, 60, 80 hours a week, because that's not what I want to do. Right. So day one, I sat down and I wrote it out. Like years ago, I made the decision that I don't want to work on Mondays. I remember reading a statistic years ago that said, this is a very somber stat, it said that more suicides occur at Monday morning 9 a.m. than any other time of the week. I call it the suicide hour.
Oh, wow.
And I remember thinking to myself, if killing yourself feels like a better alternative than going to work, there's a problem here. So I said, I don't want to work on Mondays. You know, most people, they dread Sunday night because they're already thinking about Monday, and they get up and they commute to a job that they hate. I'm like, I don't want to do that. So to this day, I rarely ever schedule anything on Mondays. I like to get up, go on the ocean, sit on the beach, just do my thing, maybe write, create, but I don't want to have a schedule of set calls. So that was just an example of one decision that I made. So day one was all about lifestyle. And then day two was creating a business plan and a business model that would coincide with that lifestyle.
Awesome. Awesome. So as part of that lifestyle, you're out on the ocean every day. You're super passionate about pollution. And can you talk a little bit about what got you into that? I know that the no take zone in Laguna really got you excited about that.
Yeah, it's funny that you say this, because this morning I have a buddy who came to town who lives on Kauai in Hawaii, and we took a long walk through town, and I was telling him the same story of how it all kind of came to be. So it was kind of one of those things where maybe this might sound a little out there, but it was kind of guided by the universe or God or whatever name you want to use, because I moved into the house that I'm in right now back in 2010. When I moved into this house, I had never been on a stand-up paddleboard in my life. It was kind of a brand new sport, to be honest, at that time. I had no idea that the beach that I live on, which will not be mentioned by name, is like the perfect beach to paddleboard out from. Just the way the beach is set on a little angle, there's no waves that really hit the beach. So even if there's waves everywhere else, I can paddle out. I also had no idea, this is the truth, that there's more species of dolphins and whales right here off the coast of Southern California than pretty much, potentially more than anywhere else on the entire planet. So I picked up this hobby of paddleboarding. I started paddling every single day. I started seeing dolphins every day. So I'd be paddling and I'd be in the middle of a pod of dolphins. I'm like, this is pretty amazing. And the creative part of me wanted to capture these moments. So I bought a cheap waterproof camera, stuck it in my pocket, and I'd be paddling and I'd pull out my camera and I'd take some photos. And that was kind of fun. And then I got a little fancier and I got a GoPro and I put it on my hat. So now I can shoot video of what I'm seeing. And I started, at the beginning, I was basically just posting stuff on Facebook. I would take these pictures and videos of dolphins and all different species of dolphins and whales. Like you mentioned, we have gray whales and humpback whales and blue whales, which are 100 feet long, and orcas. My paddle with a pod of orcas was kind of what really catapulted this whole thing to the next level. But at the beginning, I just started posting this stuff on Facebook, and people seemed to like the photos and videos. And over the years, I remember people kept saying, you should make a book, you should make a book. And I always said, I don't want to make a book. You should make a book. I don't want to make a book. And I didn't want to make a book because I didn't want to kind of commingle my experiences out there with business. Like I always say, the ocean is my church. It's my sanctuary. It's my meditation. It's my everything. And if I made a book and then I was selling it, it just felt too like, it might change the whole vibe. And then one day, this was January 7th, 2015, I paddled 2 miles. You can't see the ocean from here, but if I turn my screen, you would. I paddled 2 miles straight out on that afternoon. and there was a pod of 4 orcas, killer whales. And it was just a pristine day, the light, the everything, the ocean was like a lake, and these orcas came right to me and they came right under my board, and I shot this video and I put the video out and it just went crazy viral all around the world. To this day, if you Google orcas Laguna Beach, you'll see like hundreds of articles and whatnot about that encounter. And that was my sign that, okay, there's something more to this than just like there was, you know what I mean? It became clear to me like, okay, this is a calling, if you will, that I'm supposed to do more with this. That's what led me to contact you, Juliet, to make the book Blue Laguna. At the same time, I started a nonprofit, and it's been a few years in the making, but we've got a couple major projects that we are working on behind the scenes that we're getting ready to launch that are all about protecting the ocean. You mentioned pollution. So we're focused on things like plastic pollution and climate change and clean water, and basically a lot of the main areas that are affecting the ocean, and really wanting to empower people. So I think we're really hitting that tipping point where people realize, hey, if we don't do something to make some drastic changes, we are potentially in a lot of trouble as a planet and a species. So to me, it's like, that's my soul's calling work. It's like an honor to do that work. So I'm lucky, to be honest with you. I'm lucky that I was able to create JV Insider Circle over here, have other people that do a lot of the day-to-day running of that company to free up my time so that I can focus on the ocean work over here, which, like I said, I love JV Insider Circle. It makes a real difference for people. And the ocean work is really like, that's the soul's calling work. So I honestly, I kind of feel lucky that I get to do any of this, to be honest with you.
That's awesome. You also, if I recall, I read someplace recently that you are spearheading something in Laguna Beach to ban Mylar balloons as well. People don't realize the impact that they're having on the ocean community.
Yeah, so I was thinking of what could I do locally to, there's a crazy story how that actually came to be. I was paddling one day with my buddy, and I was like, hey, Matt, what can I do locally to make a difference? Because my brain goes to like save the world. You know what I mean? And then it's like, well, how about, what do they say if you want to clean up the neighborhood, start by sweeping your front porch first? So I'm like, well, what can I do locally? And it was actually my buddy Matt's idea. He's like, well, we're out here every day. Pretty much every day we're out there paddling, we pick up balloons. People don't realize when they let their balloons go that they become trash, and a lot of them wind up in the ocean. I just saw yesterday that 1 million marine animals will die per year from things like balloons and plastic bags and crap like that people just discard in the ocean. So we basically made the decision in that moment, all right, let's go after balloons. And it hasn't actually gone anywhere, to be honest with you. I went to the mayor and I said, Mayor, how about banning plastic balloons in Laguna Beach? And the mayor's a total tree hugger, so she liked the idea. And I said, what do you need me to do? She said, go get a petition signed by a bunch of people to show that there's interest. And I went out and got like 1,600 signatures from people wanting to ban balloons. And I took it back to the mayor, and Laguna has banned a lot of things recently, and she just said the city was too busy to take it on. And I'm like, you told me if I did it, you would get it through. And, so welcome to the world of politics. So it's still something that hopefully will happen. But the reality is one of the 2 big projects I'm working on, which it's a little premature to talk about publicly, but by the beginning of next year, absolutely, I'll be preaching it from the mountaintops. Will include things like this, where we're really getting cities to ban anything single use, plastic bags, straws, styrofoam, etc. So little things like that. And I mean, at the end of the day, can I make a difference in the world? I don't know, but I feel like it's something I have to do, and hopefully a lot of other people feel the same way. Like, let's do what we can to leave the planet. We're not going to be here that much longer, but for generations to come, hopefully we can leave the planet in better shape than it is right now.
Absolutely. One person at a time. That's all it takes. One person at a time. There's actually a new grocery store in Salt Lake City where they have reusable containers. So you take the food products home, and then you bring the containers back and they use them over and over. I think it's a really cool concept
That's great.
versus the bag. And it's not just the bags. It's, if you went and got a meal or something like that, instead of the blueberries being in plastic, they're in this reusable container. You put them in and weigh them.
If you remember the name of the store, send it. I'd love to check it out.
I will.
I know I go to Trader Joe's and it just is like, oh my God, they're everything. They just wrap everything in plastic.
Yeah,
like,
they do. It's kind of funny. So Projecto is the name of your foundation. People can find you over on Facebook. I think you have over 1 million followers over there. Is that right? Or are we up over 2 million yet?
No, it's a little less than 1 million. It's actually, yeah, if you look, you can look up Projecto on Facebook, or just go to my private, my personal Facebook page is where I actually post most things.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't posted much on the Projecto page lately because we're building what's hopefully going to be a global program, but it's all been behind the scenes, and we have a lot of great nonprofit partners, and it's just a little premature to be putting it out there to the world. So
okay, but go over there and like it, and when they do put it out in the world, you'll see it. You have well, first of all, where can we find your book before we go to the other place?
Yeah, so my book is at richgerman.com, richgerman.com. And then there's a link right at the very top for book. And you can watch a little trailer about the book, and you can order your copy, either a signed or unsigned copy. And I donate all the proceeds to that book right to the nonprofit. So
that's very cool. And we're going to attach some of those videos to this article as well, like the YouTube videos and stuff. So go check those out with the orcas and the blue whales. And we didn't even mention, he was recently on Fox News where they butchered his name. He is the rich German. So
can I tell that story real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was in LA. It just reminded me I got to follow up with somebody. That was like the end of April or May, I don't remember. But I was in LA, which I tried not to go to LA very often, but because of the traffic. But I was in LA in a meeting, a very important meeting actually, and all of a sudden my phone started blowing up. And I was like, what is happening? Like, people are calling me and everybody's texting me all at the same time. I'm like, what's going on? And the messages were like, dude, you're on Fox News right now. And I had been on, to back up, I paddleboarded with an 80-foot blue whale. And my buddy, who's a really good drone pilot, just by total coincidence, happened to be out on the water at the same time. And he shot drone footage of me on this little board next to this massive whale. And it was like, crazy cool footage. And I didn't do anything. He sent it to a lot of different news outlets. And we were on Fox News in LA like the day before. So I'm getting all these messages like, you're on Fox News. And I was like, okay, no big deal. But then they're like, no, you're on national news on this show they have called The Five, which I'd never seen before. But it was funny because as everyone was texting me, I was like, now I know who my Republican friends are.
That's right. I was one of them. I love Dina Perino. She's the one it was great because those guys on there, Dina Perino said your name. She called you German. And then Greg Gutfeld's right on it. Like, is he a rich German? Like, what's going on there? So very funny. You guys we'll try to attach that video if it's available as well. So you have a joint venture Inner Circle webinar where people can find out more about that. We don't have the link for you guys yet, but we will post it with the article so you can click on it. And it's 25, 30 minutes, Rich?
Yep. It's a short little webinar that I created, which, if you're interested in the topic of joint venturing to build your business, it's the short version of what a JV is, how to get ready to do joint ventures, and how to find partners to promote you. Kind of like I said before, first you got to get ready to do a JV. And that includes what I said, creating a hot selling program that not only a JV partner would want to promote, but the public will want to buy. So we talk about how to get JV ready, and then I talk about where the best places to find your perfect JV partners are. And it's totally free. It's our gift for you guys checking out our conversation today. And Juliet, if you could share that link, I don't even have it.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
We'll get it on here. And also, you have an event. Are you going to have your event again this year? What months it's going to be in?
It's yet to be set. We're going to be scheduling a lot of things coming up very soon, actually, but I don't have any dates.
Okay. So go follow him over on Facebook. And when the event comes up, it's a great event. He has it in, it's Newport Beach, right? Or is that Laguna? Newport every year. And it's a really good event. So Rich, thank you so much. It was nice to connect with you again. When you think of me, think of snoring, now that I've told you that story.
Hold on. What? I love that. I love that.
All right.
You're never going to hear the end of that either now, Julia.
I know.
Thank you for having me, and thank you everybody for listening. I hope you learned a little bit today, and it was a pleasure.
Great. Bye-bye.
Bye.